Hello, trading is closed on October 11th, 2021. We always start things off with our disclaimer, so let's do that. This is my trading plan for tomorrow, Tuesday, October 12th, 2021. Remember, I can be completely wrong, and any trade you make should be at your own risk. We had a number of predictions. We called for the pattern with the early high, which this is. Tomorrow should also have the early high. We looked for a sizable drop, and even though it wasn't immediate, we did drop 30 handles by the close, and that suffices. We had a number of targets, both lower and higher, and they all printed. We had 43.8621, which acted as support, and then resistance. We had an optional target, 44.0971. It was support for a while, then it broke. This other number I listed was a mistake. It should have been 44.0537, and it already printed. The mistake was off by a point. That printed too, so we're just going to call it a harmless mistake. This is just a reminder of what we said. These are the MEJT patterns during the day. Early on, we got a buy signal. That just means there's a target at a higher price. There's resistance over the target. Target printed immediately, resistance held. You're not going to get a sustainable decline when the buy signal is active, so it called for this to retrace. We had a sell signal in the afternoon. The target also printed immediately, but this time the support did not hold. This is the DeMark count. This is his stuff giving you sell at the high. This line is called the TDST line. It's where these 9 bars of setup start. There is support at 1 bar under the line. This is a daily chart. You can see we print 1 bar under the line, and that's it. And we now have 1 bar under the line. So if we print another bar under the line, it's a sign of support failing, and it could be a pretty long, steep drop to the next line, which is around 42.17. But right now, until that fails, we're at support. Support doesn't have to hold, though, but this is where you look for it. I also look for it when I see a wall of selling into the close, especially this big panic sell-off right at the bottom. No pullbacks. This is a sign of the amateurs saying, get me out at any price. If that's what it is, we should gap up tomorrow, overtake this high promptly, and if that happens, we could have a rally for most of the day, even though I'm pretty negative on the stock market here. But if that doesn't happen, as we saw, the odds are pretty good support's going to fail, and we could have a pretty steep drop. This is the daily chart. You'll see we have a trend line here. We dropped to the trend line, but not through it. Usually you're either going to a gap under the trend line, or the trend line wins. So again, it's one more sign you're at support, that you sold off to support and haven't gone through it, and it's a question if the support holds or not. This is the count I'm using, and I'm not going to claim it's the only count. This could be 1, this could be 2, this could be 3. It has a fib relationship to 1. Could be 1 of 3, or it could just be an ABC for magenta A, with this first leg down being complete. I think they're all valid ways to count this. The point of this is that you now have Fibonacci balance, a relationship at least, between this drop and this drop. And even though it's not the only place Fibonacci balance is present, It's one of the places, and if we gap up from here, you can at least justify it retroactively. So we have a number of things. Say we've dropped to support but not through it. Futures are down as I'm recording this, and it's still possible that support's going to break. And if support breaks, it very well could be a long, steep drop down. Pretty quick, too. But if support holds, at least for tomorrow, we could have one more update. I think we'll know that by tomorrow's opening trade, if not sooner. Tuesday's pattern has the early high. We could gap down. The current pattern is projecting a sizable drop from current levels. That doesn't mean we drop every day. Today's low is accompanied by Fibonacci balance to marks TDST support and the wall into the close, and often that's followed by gapping up smartly. We also have trendline support, and usually we gap under the trend line or the line wins. All this justifies a rally tomorrow, and if a rally were to gap over the final hour's high, it could be quite strong. That being said, if support fails here, it could be a sharp, steep drop. Futures are already lower as I write this, so I can't rule out support failing. I think the picture should be clearer by the end of the first hour of trading tomorrow, if not earlier than that. So we have a steep drop to support. It holds and we go up for a day, or it fails and it could be a long, steep drop. And that's today's call.